So there's an interesting phrase you use of helping put social systems in place. So as things fall apart and change, there's stuff in place. So are there ones, are there efforts like that that you've worked on that really stand out for you as significant over the years?
Yeah, there's things that I've learned from. I haven't. I wouldn't say that I've been involved in stuff that's earth shattering in any way at all. Most of my work is with historically has been with nonprofit or nonprofit organizations, coalitions, and such. But I think it comes down to moments like we went through 10 years in this province where we had a really expert political leadership, a very small group of people, of politicians who got in power and stayed in power for like 10 years. And they were so good at what they were doing. It qualifies in my mind as evil. Because you could see that they would do things like this. I got called by a potential client. They said, we're a network, a polite network of literacy service providers. Little ones, big ones, colleges, community-based things, variety of literacy service providers. And the minister has told us, we want your advice on how to spend money. Now I went to school with these boys, okay? These politicians. Basically, I went to school with some of them. I know how they think, I know how they reason. And I know that when you come to a polite network and say, we'd like your advice on how to spend money next year, there is no way, like there is 0% chance that that's an honest question. 0% chance. It was throwing meat down in front of some hungry sled dogs. And it was obvious to me, and there's only so much I can say. So we had to really figure out what can these folks do. Oh, they said, we want your advice on how to spend money this year, in this year's budget, and next year we're going to give you less. They actually said that. Next year we're going to give you less. So they're setting them up to fight. They're trying to break any informal alliances that might exist in the community. That was their goal. And knowing these people as they are, that is their goal. These are people who do not believe in the notion of community. They do not believe that there is such a thing as a group. They do not believe that. And so they were trying to dissemble it, any notions of it. So we got together and we, and I knew that they said we got to do some system design work so we know where to make our advice. And I knew all they needed to do was have a breakthrough, take some responsibility and ownership over their current situation. Because it's real easy. We were all sitting back saying, oh, we'll blame the prime minister, or the premier of the province. It's his fault for everything, which is baloney. So I put them through the worst obstacles workshop. Did a vision workshop, yada, yada, yada. But I knew I had to break them on the wheel in the first, naming the first two columns in the vision workshop. And it worked. They had one cluster of ideas. Basically every card said other people protecting their turf. And there's more cards in the column than there were small groups writing on cards. So just looking at that alone, it's like saying the emperor has no clothes, but nobody said it yet. You know, they have to point, they're all essentially pointing at each other, and it's all true. So read it aloud, keywords and phrases, what's underneath it, what supports it, what sustains it. We're getting all this blaming. Finally get down to sitting down. How are you implicated in keeping this in place, whatever it is? And just let the silence work until they just exploded. Just exploded. We had the chair, the president of the college banging on the table, hollering, "You're damn right, I'm guilty. You know, I get paid to protect my programs. I've got more employees than anybody else around the table all put together, and it's my job to protect them. And so I'm bloody well going to do it, and I'm going to keep doing it too. That's my job. We've got fabulous services." And he went on and on and on, and ends with a big harumph and crosses his arms and puts it back. somebody else. How are you implicated? He broke the ice like a meteorite coming through a lake, you know, just boom. And they really opened up and they started to take some responsibility for their own behavior, the little piece that they could control. And that to me is the key, is when any of those groups take responsibility for the piece they can control.